Hi everyone. We are looking at graph transformations. We've done a lot of graph sketching of cubic graphs and quartic graphs. And now we are looking at transformations, graph transformations. That is, we did the introduction yesterday, and we did state that there are four or five basic things to consider in graph transformation. The one is you have y equals f of x plus a. This is a horizontal transformation, which means this transformation takes place on the x-axis. With a here being positive inside the parentheses, it means its actual value, when you consider it on the graph, sketching the graph, is going to take the value minus a. And you have the second one, y equals f of x plus a. This one here is a translation on the vertical axis. That is, you do the transformation on the vertical axis of the positive number a. This number still remains the same with the sign. The sign doesn't change. It's still plus a. So just write a. And you have another one, y equals f of 1/2, for example, f of 1a x. This again is a horizontal translation, x-axis. In fact, this is a stretch, if you call it, or a shrink. It's stretching the x-axis with a scale factor of 1/a. It's a stretch. The scale factor. Of 1/a. This is a translation. This is the same translation. And you have another one, y equals a f of x. This is a stretch on the vertical axis. Anything outside the function, or you multiply this by the function, is a stretch on the y-axis. This a is in front of the function, so this is a stretch again with a scale factor of a. Scale factor of a on the y-axis. This is on x-axis. On y-axis. This is just a recap what we did yesterday on the introduction side. Just recap. The recap what we did yesterday. So now, having done this, now we can look at one problem here. When we go through this problem, we will be able to understand what all this means. There is a question on the board that says,
Daddy,
yes, later. that says this graph here, y equals f of x, is f of x. It goes through the x-axis here. Yes. It goes through the origin 0 and cuts through the x-axis at 0.4. But then it has a vertex, you know, a vertex of 2, minus 1. Vertex, it happens to be the turning point of a graph. It could be on the positive side, it could be on the negative side of the graph. But this is the vertex, the maximum turning point of a graph. That's the vertex. So here we have it, x is 2 and y minus 1. This is how the graph is given. But let me put minus 1 here and 2 here. 2, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0, 1. So this position here, the maximum turning point for this graph happens at 2, minus 1. At x equals 2 and y equals minus 1. That is the vertex that is given to us. So, they say on Sepres diagrams, sketch the curve with equations. Y equals 4f of x plus 1 and y equals minus f 1/2 of x. Show the coordinates where the curve meets the x-axis and the turning points of the curve. That is the new course we are going to get. You are asked again to show this coordinate and this turning point. So now, having this in the background, let's now see what we can do. Now, first things first, let's start. We are asked to sketch this curve. Y equals 4f of x plus 1 with reference to this graph we have here. So we're having this, y equals 4 f of x plus 1. So there are two things here. First thing, there's a translation on the x-axis, or 1. When you look at this one, you're comparing this function, which has this graph, and this function. We want to transform this graph into this function. That's what we are trying to do. But this has only got y equals f of x. But here, there's additional things, 4 and plus 1. So let's see what is inside the bracket. We got plus 1. So which means we are looking at the function y equals f of x plus 1 plus a. So we did say this is a translation on the x-axis. When you have it like this, it's a translation on the x-axis. When you want to represent now this a, it's going to be minus a. I've mentioned that before. So this one is going to be minus 1. So what does that mean to this graph? Let's see. Forget about this 4 first. Let's look at. We have 0, 2, 4. And we did have minus 1 here. So this is 2 and this is 4, this graph. So now, let me put minus 2 here. And this is your y, this is your x. So we want to see what this minus 1 means. This minus 1 means that this graph is going to shift towards the left hand side by one step or by 1 unit. That's this one, what this one is telling us. So here initially we had 4. So if we go backwards by 1 step, this 4 now is going to be 3. So now our new position will be 3. We are moving by 1 towards the left hand side. We are moving the whole graph, not only this point. Because we are moving this point backwards, we also need to move this point backwards. And this is 0 here. If we move it 1 step backwards, it's going to be -1. So it's going to be here, somehow here. So on the x-axis, this is what we got. Everything on the x-axis will change. Here on the vertex, the x was 2 and y was 1. The y will not change because we are only doing translation on the x-axis. So x will change. So this value, which was 2, we go backwards 1 step, is going to be now 1. From 2 to 1. So this value now is going to be here. So 1 and -1. So the new vertex position where this new point and this same point meet is here. So this is now our new vertex position, and that position now is going to be 1, -1. Because yes, we move 1 step towards the left. So these two is going to be 1. So let's try and plot this graph this time and see. Nice smooth curve. It goes through -1 and 3. It's always good to start with the vertex side. Just a rough sketch. This is how it looks like. This is now the function. This is our new function. And they ask us to find the coordinates where the curve made the x-axis. So x coordinate, just say, is now going to be -1 and 3 as the x coordinate, and the vertex is now going to be 1, -1. So these are what you are asked us to find, the turning points. The turning point is simply the vertex and show the coordinates. So this is the turning points, 1, -1, and the coordinate, the new coordinates, -1, 3. The old coordinates were 0, 4. So the first part is done. Translation on the x-axis. But this equation has a 4 here. A 4. And this 4 means if you have y equals to a f of x, this is a stretch on the y-axis. When this function, when this real number here is just in front of your function, it means you are stretching the y-axis. So with what we have here, on the y-axis here, we have -1. If we stretch -1 by 4 units, what is it going to be? It's going to be -4. Just multiply by -1 by 4. So it's going to be -4. So now, this graph, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is -2, -3, -4. So our new graph now is going to be, let me draw the new graph anyway, that's better. It passes through -1 and through 3 and we still have our x-axis is 1, the vertex here is 1, it's only the y that is going to -4. So y now, let's say -4 is here. This is still our x-axis, which is 1. 1 here, we have 1 here, x. Yeah? So now our new graph will go like this. So let's say this is -3 here. This is 3. This is -1. So this is what you have. Finally, this was this graph. Now this is y equals to 4 f of x plus 1. So this is what we finally have. So now our x coordinates, x here is still -1, 3, and y now, the vertex is now going to be still 1, the vertex, this position here, this is going to be 1, -4. It's 1, -4. So this is what we got. Yeah? So our third graph, or the second one, I should have combined this one together anyway, but never mind, for better understanding. I'll separate them. The last one says y equals -f 1/2 of x. I take this one off. When you have y equals f of 1/a x, this is a stretch. Stretch by a scale factor of 1/a on the x-axis. That's what it means. It's a stretch by a factor of 1/a on the x-axis. And because we have minus here, anything just before your function, anything you have there is always going to do with the x-axis. When you have 4 here, you are stretching the x-axis by 4 units. Yeah. So because you have minus here, which means this is going to be a flip on the y-axis. You are looking at this minus here. So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. What this is going to do, this function here is going to flip. It's a reflection on the x-axis, but we'll call it a flip on the y-axis, because what is going to happen, what is at the bottom here is going to go up. That's what is happening. It's going to flip like this because of this minus sign. Anything just before the function has to do something with the y-axis. So it's going to flip like this. It's a reflection on the x-axis, but it's something to do with the y-axis. So I hope that explains it. So what we have here now, what is this one telling us? This is telling us a scale factor of 1/2 on the x-axis. Yeah, the x-axis is stretching by 1/2. And what do we have on the x-axis? What do we have? We have a 4. 0 to 4, we have a 4. So, if 1/A is the stretch, and now you have 1/2. 1/2. So this is going to be 1/2 times the stretch of 4. We are stretching it by 4. Yeah? So what that means, I hope you understand this connection. So this means this is 1/A. So it means 2 times 4, and this gives us 8. So that is the stretch we are going to get on the x-axis, 8. That's what we get. We are going to stretch the x-axis by 8 units. So let's draw it here. You have it 0 here, 2, 4, 6, 8. We'll make it big now. And because of this minus sign, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8 units. It was here 1, comma minus 4. Yeah? 1, comma minus 4. Yes. So when you flip it now, your minus 4 still gonna be minus 4 now will be plus 4. It's only this sign will change because this x is 1, it's still gonna be 1. X is 1 here, it's still gonna be 1, and minus 4 on the y, it was minus 4, now it's gonna be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? So you're gonna have it, y on the x is 1, and on the y is 4. Is it? And the x is going to stretch by 8. It's gonna be something like this. Something like this. Sorry, it's not that correct. It is the y that is going to be, we are flipping on the y, so sorry, the y is going to be gonna be 4, 1. Yes. So you're going to pass through the 0 and the 8. The vertex now is going to be 4, 1. We are flipping the y. I hope that explains it. Yeah? So this is what you get. You straighten it by 8. What was 4 here, right? Flipping it, now it's 4-1. I hope that explains it. Thank you for watching.